up a dive. Feel the vibe, get ready to ignite. Untold stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild ride. Share and subscribe. Join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the attic, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories are talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the group. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild ride. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Spectrum here on the Untold Radio Network. I am your host, Barnaby Jones, and today's episode, we are live, coming at you here from the studio. That's right, guys. I am super excited. I am in a hyper underslept. I haven't slept. We are raring to go here with the Untold Radio Network today. And as you can see from the comments over here, Courtney says, woo, they have found a gem. Can't wait to see you, my friend. That's right. Kristina Bloom is back on the show today, joining us live here in just a minute, guys. But coming up tomorrow night, it snuck up on me here. And I will be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for The Woman in Black. It is a spine-tingling theatrical event direct from London's West End. Comes the chilling and electrifying theatrical event that has kept millions of audiences on the edge of their seats for over 30 years. Director Robert Herford production is a gripping study in atmosphere, illusion, and controlled horror. A lawyer obsessed with a curse that he believes has been cast over him and his family by the specter of a woman in black engages a skeptical young actor to help him tell the terrifying story and hopefully exorcise the fear that grips his soul. As they reach further into the darkest memories, they find themselves ensnared in a world of eerie marshes and moaning winds. What happens next is something you'll have to see to believe. It is playing at the Milwaukee Repertory Theater all the way through Sunday, March 22nd. But tomorrow night, guys, I am going to be there after the production ends. They're doing a ghost story night. and myself and a few other local paranormal researchers and investigators got invited to come down and share some stories with you. It is free with your ticket, so if you're in Milwaukee and looking for a spooky, spine-tingling night, come out and join me and the Woman in Black. All right, guys. And then, guys, we head to Eau Claire, Wisconsin for Midwest Meta Paracon, April 11th through the 13th. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, big 3-day event there. It's going to be a good time as well. And then the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention in Appleton, Wisconsin takes place May 9th through the 11th. Kicks off Friday night with a Bigfoot expedition and a VIP dinner with some of our guest speakers. You guys can come check it out. There's a few tickets left for that. Last I saw, there was 6 tickets available. And then Saturday is the convention proper. You get to see all of our wonderful speakers there on the screen, as well as Angela Zabel will be doing a gallery reading that evening that is included with your Saturday ticket. And over 30 plus vendors are going to be in attendance for all of your shopping needs. Also, we are premiering the Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Society's brand new documentary, The Hairy Man of Dairyland, Wisconsin's Bigfoot.
Right here in the road, and it was right on the line, standing right there.
Whatever it was breaking trees, breaking branches, and I've never heard that before.
And from the basement door, I was like, Louie, I'm pretty sure there's a footprint out here.
And that's when the rocks started coming out of this tree line.
All I seen was hair. And it was like arched over right here.
And then out of nowhere we hear this loud, like earth-shaking grunt.
It rolled its shoulder and grabbed the ground and pulled itself towards my vehicle.
And I heard a plunk, and I come over here, and that squash was laying about right there in the middle of my garden, you know.
How do you walk in that in bare feet at 30-degree temperature?
Did you see that? What was that? I saw something dark in the light from the right to the left.
It was big.
Could be the little different.
If you guys can't make it out in person, we also have virtual tickets. That's right, guys. For just $5, you can live stream all of our presenters that day, and you won't miss a thing either live or after the fact. You can check them out at your convenience. For the first month after the convention, you will also have a voucher that you can check out the exclusive documentary as well, included with the virtual ticket as long as you use it in the first month. And then, guys, we head down June 7th. We are going to be in Chicago for the Milwaukee Paranormal Con and SilCon in September, as well as a lot of other events. You can check them all out at wisconsincaps.com. Click on the public events page. All right, there. Now we're all done with all that stuff. We're going to jump right into it. So, without any further ado, let's get going. All right, guys. My guest today is the wonderful Kristina Bloom. She is a psychic medium, and the channel for the divine. For more than 2 decades, she has been fascinating individual and gallery. I just need to slow down here. She has been facilitating individual and gallery psychic readings across the country, speaking in front of both small and large groups. The insight and wisdom of spirit easily moves through her, allowing for clear information for you, the receivers of the messages, to come through. With the light-hearted nature, Kristina continues to get confirmation from spirit until the messages become clear to you. And that is what we're going to be talking about, communication with spirit, which clearly I need to work on today because I cannot speak today. So please welcome to the show, Kristina Bloom.
Hi, Barnaby. How are you?
For being here.
I know you could see me backstage laughing.
Yeah. No, actually, I was reading your bio, so I wasn't looking at the screen. So you're safe. You know, you can make fun of me behind your back.
Awesome. Well, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. I got two things to point out now that you're on the show before we move on, though.
Yes.
You are also, as you said, going to be a vendor at the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Convention, and you are also a sponsor of it. So I want to thank you very much for that, and
You're welcome.
enjoy having you on here as well. And you, again, are going to be back on my show very quickly, actually, here.
Yeah.
You will be on the 50th episode that is coming up here. We are doing a psychic gallery, not psychic gallery, a psychic panel.
Awesome.
And we're going to do live Q&A with the audience here about all things that are the unanswered questions of the spirit world, like, is there a God? And all these other fascinating, subtle things. So we're not talking about that today, because that is March 3rd is our 50th episode here on the Untold Radio Network. So super excited for that.
All right.
Now we turn it over to you.
Well, you know I like to talk.
I know,
mean,
see, and so do I. So there you go. But I've decided to have you on today to talk about channeling, because I know that this is one of the specialties of you, that you do this, and you're one of the few people that I know of that actually like specializes in that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Stephanie and Ellie on my team, they don't do that.
I don't think so. I mean, I've never talked to them about it, but
no,
and they're both friends of mine, but I've never talked to them about it.
Well, we'll have to talk about it in a few weeks here, maybe.
Yeah, we will. We will. Yeah. I trance channel. Would you like me to explain what that means?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when I trance channel, I go into a very deep meditation, and then I invite very specific group of beings who are generally more spiritually advanced than we are, more technically advanced than we are, just in general, more advanced. But what happens is I leave my body, and it's kind of a smooth transition, because like I'm here, they're here. I leave my body and they move in. And so they use my voice, they use my vocabulary, and they speak through me. Oh, Lee has butterflies on who's going to come through today. Am I channeling today? I might be.
I don't know. Who is my guest today on the show?
Remains to be seen.
Exactly.
I have channeled in one other language, and this is probably going to be of interest to you specifically. I have channeled a few of the Bigfoot women. And when they come through, they speak in their own language, and it is always a healing for somebody. So, yeah. When the men come through, they speak English, sort of, and they contort my body a lot. So that's a little painful, but well, they have to fit that big spirit into this smaller body, and, they have difficulty with that.
Well, that's a lot to take in, and it's
it's
really interesting here. So we're gonna break this down even further.
Yes.
So this is, as you kind of mentioned here, this is different than being a medium or a psychic, because that's talking to a spirit or a spirit guide or something on the other side, and you're basically just repeating what they're saying.
Yes.
Whereas channeling, they're actually coming through you directly.
Yes. That's the difference. And I know it sounds like, okay, yes, I'm a boring guest, but that really is the sum of it. It's they come through and boom, there it is.
Okay. So
here we go.
No, see, sometimes I prepare for shows. And it's the problem is because when I prepare and I read the guest's book and I listen to their podcast and stuff, those are the people that don't show up to my show. And then I go, well, now what do I talk about? So yeah, but I am semi-prepared and very sleep deprived. So there we go.
You're fun when you're sleep deprived.
I'm usually like half asleep because, like I said, I come home and I take a nap, and then I have to wake up and do my show. Well, I did today, but I'm just so overtired that I'm already just wound up.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. So let's start off with the basic here of, you said that you invite very specifically who you want and allow to come through. So before we go
Right.
any further in this, let's talk about the safety involved in this, because like you said, do you like astral project, like leave your body that way and then allow the spirit to come in, or how does that work? Tell us a little bit about that, and then what steps you do to protect yourself before you allow that to happen.
Okay. Well, let's start with the protection first. I always try to take at least a few minutes to meditate beforehand. And before I allow anyone access to use my physical body, I need to know who they are, and I need to feel their energy, and I need to be comfortable with that energy. I'm not letting just anyone come in.
Mhm.
There has to be like a certain, I want to say a certain frequency, but you're a science guy, so you're going to say, oh, which frequency is it? I have no idea. I feel so I'm a half a step ahead of you there. But there is safety involved because my spirit guides are the gatekeepers, and they make sure that only high vibration, loving energy comes through. They're not going to just let, some demon or something come in and take me over. That doesn't happen because we have an agreement. We have talked about it. I actually have a written contract that I wrote in pen to paper. I wrote with the universe that said, I am willing to do what you're asking me to do, but there are certain things that I'm not going to allow. And so then, the universe, whatever that was, came through with their part of it. So, I don't allow channeling when I'm driving because that's dangerous. I
Yeah.
I don't allow channeling when I'm cooking because heat and sharp objects do not go well with somebody who might not know how to use those things. When I'm with my family, that's family time. That's not channel time. So, there are certain times when I don't. My agreement is, my part of what I'm giving in that is that when we set something up, I'm there.
Mhm.
I'm there, when I need to be there. So that's part of it. And then I forgot the first part of the question that you asked me because I answered the second part first.
When you say that you leave your body, are you like astral projecting out, or what is that actually? What are you actually doing to leave your body?
I don't really know because I don't have a different experience than what's happening with the channeling. Like I'm kind of right next to myself, I guess, if you could visualize that. Um, it's just afterwards I don't remember very much, but during it I feel like I'm pretty present, but afterwards, after they have left and they've taken whatever their, knowledge they're taking with them, I don't often remember it. So I have multiple recordings of me channeling just so that I can go back and listen, which I hardly ever do, actually.
Okay, so um, you kind of said this, but like you don't, when you're channeling, you feel or see that you're like, do you watch yourself, or are you just still, are you outside your body watching yourself talk as someone else, like an out of body experience when you're channeling, or are you just inside your body and you feel something like talking past you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that second one. It's really more like I feel like I haven't gone very far. I don't think I fully leave my body, but I'm also not the one in charge.
Right. So you're like,
Somebody, yeah.
you're looking out your eyes, watching what's going on, but you're not the one doing it.
Only with Christ consciousness. Everyone else, my eyes are closed,
Oh, okay.
which is interesting too. Christ consciousness likes to have my eyes open, walk around the room, hug people. It's, but everyone else is just kind of sit in a chair so you don't fall over, kind of a thing. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you um do you retake control, or does the spirit leave on its own and then you have control back?
We have an agreement about that. So, they monitor my body. They monitor my fatigue level. They monitor like my heart rate. It's like I'm hooked up to machines while they're using my body, because when it hits a certain point, when I start getting too tired, they will call an end to the session and pull out. And again, it's another smooth transition back the other way. So my body is never left empty.
Right. So when you say they, are you talking about the being that has entered you, or your spirit guide
The being that has entered me usually
is monitoring you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Because they're inside my body. They can feel the heartbeat. They can, hear what's going on. They can, however it is that they do it, they take care of me.
So when the ship starts to sink, they abandon ship and give it
Pretty
back.
much, yeah. Pull me back in. Here you go, Captain. Take
Done
over.
with this body. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now you're not the first person. I can't remember who it was that told me this, but I just had another guest on, and we were talking about if they spoke to a being specifically, or if they spoke through their spirit guide. Like, you ask your spirit guide a question, they get the answer and bring it back. And they told me that their spirit guides are very much like yours, where you said are the gatekeeper, using that exact phrase of when they do like gallery readings and stuff, their spirit guide is the one standing behind them that lines up all the souls to come forward one at a time and kind of organizes it and everything. And I think that's very interesting. That I'm sure you probably don't know who my guest was. I'm trying to think if I think it was June
Okay.
Edward, I think, was the one that had just mentioned that as well.
When I do a gallery reading, it's different though, because when I do a gallery reading, I send out a stream of energy from my heart chakra, and it goes to whoever gets the next reading. That's the way I do a gallery. Yeah.
So you link to a person in the audience before you link to the spirit side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure spirit's guiding it, but yes, that's the way it works for me. I know it works differently for everybody, and I love that. I love that we all do it a little differently.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't heard that before. Like, like you watch stuff like John Edwards and stuff, and he just kind of gets pulled to an area. So clearly he's not tuning into a specific person like that. He's getting the opposite, like I said, of somebody coming through. And
yeah,
interesting. We will have to talk more about that on March 3rd on the 50th.
Awesome.
episode.
Yeah, that'll be
Anyway,
good.
completely different from what we're topic of discussion today, guys. We are live. I am very hyperactive today, but we are live. So if you have questions of your own about channeling, get them in here for Kristina as we go along. And if you have questions in general for psychics and mediums and stuff, save them for March 3rd, when we have a entire panel of psychics and mediums, and Kristina will be back for that. So start thinking about what you want to know and your long desired questions for that. But okay. So do you channel like a gallery reading, say? So if you're doing a one-on-one with a person or something, can you bring forward one of their loved ones and channel them specifically, or do they have to come through on their own? Do they approach you, or can you call someone out?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Typically when I'm doing a mediumship reading, I'm not channeling.
Right.
I'm more just kind of, that's why they call it mediumship. I'm the medium between the two people.
Right.
And helping them communicate with each other. But typically when I'm doing mediumship, I'm not channeling. I have had readings where someone will come through, but it's usually someone like Christ, or somebody like who's the higher energies that sometimes want to come through and give a direct message, because sometimes people need that.
More like an advisor.
Yeah.
Like life coaching kind of situation, instead of a hey, I want to know if my mother's okay on the other side. They're like,
right.
Hey, I'm having a rough time in my life. I need to figure something out, and then someone will come through to help them.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So we've talked about Christ, and Bigfoot. So what other type beings and stuff? You said like high energy in that, but why specifically would a Bigfoot come through?
You know, that actually happened at a women's retreat.
Okay. Yeah.
I was at I forget what she calls it now, but I was at Gail Christensen's doing a women's retreat in outside of Escanaba, Michigan, and the Bigfoot came through to talk to her specifically about something with her property and that sort of thing, right? So that was specifically a message for her. And then the following day when we were in class, he came through again and asked permission for some of the women of his group to join us because they wanted to join us. And what that came down to was that there was someone in there who was in deep need of a healing, and they wanted to come through and give her healing, which was a very profound experience, I think, for the whole group. Yeah, Sacred Waterways. Thank you, Lee. Lee, I think Lee was there. Yeah, Lee was there. Yeah.
Oh, that was the retreat?
That was well, that's her place is called Sacred Waterways.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lee's on the ball. Lee is also
Lee on the ball.
I get stuck on things and Lee Googles stuff for me in the background over here. So.
Yeah. She's the background producer.
Yeah, she's the background producer over there.
Yeah.
Tell Doug Hychek to put her on the payroll.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so now in the case of these Bigfoot, are they, I'm going to be blunt here, are they dead? Are they already passed on to the spirit world, or are they like telepathically communicating that way? Are they still alive out in the woods?
You know, I don't know.
Okay.
I've never been able to, because they're so magical anyway, it's hard to tell. And I know not everyone believes that they're magical or that they transport or that they're, I mean, everyone has their theories. My experience is just that they care. And it never occurred to me to ask if their bodies were no longer alive. Because yeah. Well, we can channel through each other too. If you know how to do it, you can leave your body and channel through another human being and not be dead doing it. So it is possible. So I'm not sure. I really don't know. It didn't occur to me to ask.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lee might ask next time though.
Yes. Lee says that she did attend that retreat as well.
Yeah.
No, so this is something interesting that I kind of always point out when people say like, Bigfoot's a magical or, paranormal or supernatural and stuff. As that doesn't have to be as weird as people make it,
Right.
Because I mean, look at yourself, look at all the people that we interact with at the metaphysical conventions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are in tune with these higher beings and higher energies and stuff like that. These creatures, if they're living out in the woods, avoiding humans, they're not putting all the plastics in their bodies, their toxins in their bodies. They're all natural. They're in tune with nature, living out there. And right there, you're putting yourself in this higher vibrational, higher energy existence where you're not bogged down by the latest thing on social media and the terrible news that's going on and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're automatically in this higher vibrational state. So it would make sense that if, the better, so we say among our communities, the mediums and the higher vibrational people, if they can do this, there's no reason to think that these other creatures and stuff can't as well. And in that note, There's no reason to believe that any animal couldn't do this. And, they just don't have a reason to reach out and say, hey, stop destroying the environment,
Right. And there are people who communicate with animals. Wild animals as well as domestic. So, I agree. They could channel through us if they chose to.
I know some mediums actually channel and pick up dogs and pets and stuff and bring them through in readings.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah.
It's just, because the thing is, we aren't in control of who comes through in a reading. Spirit is in control of whether or not they want to come through in a reading. So it's not up to us. it's, we open the door. I do tell people, if there's someone specific that you'd like to connect with, please just give me their first name so that I have someone to reach out to. And, that helps, I guess, make it quicker, where they answer to their own name rather than me trying to go out into the vast world of spirit to find a person whose energy matches the person who's sitting in front of me. But then there's other times when I sit down to do a reading, and a mediumship reading, and their people are right there going, we need to talk. So it goes both ways. It really goes both ways.
So have you ever channeled an animal? Other than, we'll say Bigfoot's an animal, we'll put that there, but have you channeled like a dog or a cat or a pet or a horse or bird, bunny?
A bunny.
They're pets. Yeah. I get very
I think that what happens is, for me, I don't know if I'm actually channeling them, or they tend to, when I'm working with animals, they tend to give me pictures instead of words.
Okay.
So I'll get visuals that I have to explain to the person sitting in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they'll be the person sitting in front of me go, yeah, that's Buster or whatever, one thing I'm not good at, and this, remember how I said we can move our consciousness through other people? We can also do it through animals. So when I connect with an animal that's lost, I can't see where the animal is because it's like I'm looking out of their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I can describe what they're seeing, but I can't describe where the animal is because I can't see the animal.
Because they don't know where they are. They just see.
Yeah, they just show me what they see.
Interesting. Yeah, that's where I was going with this is, if you can channel an animal, do they speak in English, and how do they sound? But you're saying they just do pictures. So,
well, with some people they might speak in English or whatever other language you might speak, but for me they just show pictures. Like I said, it's different for everybody, which is always interesting. I love to hear how other psychics do it because I know that we're all different. So,
ooh, another plug for March 3rd.
Yes, another plug for March 3rd.
I know my team, Ellie Weisensell, she will be on that panel as well, and she specifically focuses on animals.
Yeah.
So she will be definitely here to answer your questions.
I will love to hear what she has to say.
Awesome. I'm not sure if this is a question or what this is. The specific question I asked, was there anything I could do to help? The answer was basically, please don't call it Bigfoot hunting. What are you going to do? Hunt and kill them to eat? Yeah. I don't know why people call it Bigfoot hunting. It's not hunting. You're not going. Some people do. But
yeah, sadly.
Have I missed anything over here in the comments? I don't think so. No.
Oh, Lee said that Gobiginini is very concerned when they are in me. So, that is, I believe, is it Potawatomi or Ojibwa? Gobiginini is the name for Bigfoot.
Oh.
Yeah. And when they are coming through me, they're very concerned about my well-being. So when I'm channeling the men, they don't stay very long because they know that it's not comfortable for me.
Yeah, and the question was in regards to what she asked them at the retreat. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, let's see.
You okay? Need a drink of water? Yeah.
When you channel the females and stuff, what does that sound like?
It sounds like a combination of Northern Midwest Native American languages and light language. To me, it also sounded like maybe there was some like an Asian influence of some sort. So it's different. Yeah.
That's interesting. Like I was curious on that because like we've heard a lot about how they used to be able to, or probably can still communicate with the tribes and stuff in the native languages.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make sense why if they're channeling, they would come through speaking those native languages. So
Yeah.
you don't speak English, you speak those other languages when they channel through.
When the women who are doing healings channel through.
Right.
But the only women I've channeled have been doing healings. Like they're healers, and they're very strong healers. Wow, like crazy strong healers. Yeah.
And we've taken a turn down the Bigfoot road because that's what
Mhm.
you channeled. But
Mhm.
you know, we've heard a lot of stories of people being healed by Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Tom Cantrell has been on my show, and he was out in the woods and said that he was in this cabin and he was very sick. I want to say his heart, he was having heart problems. Yeah, he has
Mhm.
heart problems, I think. And one of these beings came into the cabin and healed him. And he slept for like 8-10 hours or whatever it happened to Ben. And then he woke up and his heart condition had gotten better. You know, he
Yeah.
was, you know, having pain and stuff, and all of a sudden it was gone, and he still needed surgery, but he was better.
Yeah.
There's
I
another
love
story.
his story.
Oh, you're familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another guy that is featured in our documentary, and I don't want to spoil it, but he gets in a car crash. I think it's a car crash, and he's badly burned. And when he goes back to his gifting spot, there is it burdock that is left there, and that's this healing plant for specifically burns.
Mhm.
And he says, well, how did they know that that's what happened and that I needed this? Because he didn't know what it was. He found the roots of this plant there, and he takes it and he's like, well, what is this? Why is it for? And he finds that out. And it's pretty interesting. Over and over again, you kind of hear this, that the healer aspect of them.
Yeah. They're powerful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, Lee pointed out that there's a lot of movement with the females. Almost like she's always like moving my hands around and doing stuff with my hands. Yeah.
That's interesting. So specifically with healers and stuff like that, do you think it's like symbols? Like symbols have power
could
and stuff.
be.
I know,
Yeah.
going back to Ellie Weisensell
Yeah.
on our team, when she does certain things like banishing and removing evil energy or bad energy
Mhm.
and stuff like that, she does different sigils and stuff in the air with her hands as part of these rituals and stuff that she does.
Yeah, I think so. Even with Reiki, you know, you have the symbols that you draw in the air when you're using Reiki. And I tend to just let it move through me. So if my hands are drawing something, I don't necessarily know what it is.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But usually there's something going on with the hands all the time with that. And also because I've channeled other healers. And, you know, there's a doctor that I work with from another dimension. And she always, like, she uses all of herself to heal people. Like, I have seen her go like liquid inside of people and fill their whole body with this healing liquid. And when she's done, the person is there's sometimes it's a complete healing. Like, you know, if they had a cancer or something, like it's gone. They'll go to the doctor and be tested and it's gone. So, you know, these healers that come through us, we don't have to understand what they're doing. We just have to make ourselves available
Mhm.
and let it come through.
That's really interesting. Like, again, there's so much stuff with healing and energy. We talk about
Mhm.
that, the Reiki and stuff. And there's the interesting thing is, again, I mean, I think most of the people that listen to the show probably believe in this stuff, understand the stuff. Like they don't think it's hokum or whatever. But if there's anybody out there that is listening to this because they're into ghosts and they just tune in for every episode,
Yeah.
there's science out there now, and I found this really cool. Beethoven's Fifth, I believe it's Beethoven's Fifth. has been found to kill cancer cells.
Yes, because of the frequency at which it's recorded.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're in any doubt that any of this stuff is, woohoo or whatever,
Yeah.
like there's science that proves that this stuff is real, and it's really it's amazing. Like you hear all the the Tibetan monks and stuff that have these resonance chambers where they go in and chant, and it creates these certain harmonic frequencies, and there's so much stuff, so much interesting stuff.
Right. Right. It is interesting because when we hum or when we tone or when we chant, we're hitting those frequencies, and those frequencies are healing. The thing is that our brain often says, well, that was fun, and doesn't absorb the healing, doesn't let the healing in, but that's where these computers in our heads get in the way sometimes.
I have
Instead, yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to repeat myself. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I have recently discovered 8D music.
Yeah.
And it's I don't even know where I found this, but it's supposed to like calm like ADHD and like hyperactive brains and stuff like that. I was scrolling through TikTok, and it says put on headphones and listen to this, and it's basically like the music is just circling your head.
Yes.
It is the weirdest sensation, and it's just normal songs that they have manipulated to this. So you can go look up whatever your favorite song is or whatever, and it comes in 8D, like 3D, but 8D. And
8 dimensions, yeah.
It is fantastic. Anybody that's looking, I've listened to the soundtrack from The Greatest Showman, like that. That is fantastic. My favorite song, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. Oh my gosh, that is just brings so much more level to it. It's like my brain just turns off. Gone. It is amazing.
That frequency that they're recording that at calms the central nervous system. And it hits the vagus nervous system, and it calms it all down. And that's why it can calm down your brain. That's why your brain just kind of shuts off and goes right into it, because it's calming the central nervous system and the vagus nerve.
You had to go and ruin it by making it all sciencey on me. I'm the one that's supposed to do that.
I know. Turn the tables on you.
That's like, my
but
whole
it still
life
feels magical. I don't care. It still feels magical.
Yeah. This TikTok, I don't care what people have to say about TikTok. There are good things that have come out of TikTok. And one of the other things that I found is my whole life I have had this weird thing where certain male voices will make my brain tingly.
Okay.
And I was scrolling through TikTok, and there was this girl talking, and she's talking like this into the microphone. And all of a sudden my brain did that tingly thing. And I'm like, what is this? And it's specifically designed to do that tingle. And that's when I learned what ASMR is. And that this is a whole thing. And my whole life, this certain frequency or whatever has always triggered that tingle in me, where my whole body just relaxes and my brain just feels like pins and needles tingly in a good way. And it's like I could just listen to you talk forever, and I don't know why. Like whatever you're saying will just trigger this response. And here it is that I found somebody that does it on command, and I can just go listen to it. And I'm like, what is this? I need to study. And not all of it. Not all, because there's like bubble wrap, and they do all kinds of stuff. Like when you get into ASMR, and there's all kinds of things that people do, like chewing. Oh my God, that drives me nuts.
I can't stand that. Oh.
And I hate bubble gum or any kind of gum. The smacking of that, I can't even eat it myself or chew it myself. But
I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. Although, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name, but where she whispers into the microphone, that's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Really?
Like, I can't.
I listen to Luna Bloom.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She's really, there's a lot of them that, they all kind of whisper into the microphone like that. That's the whole thing. But she does tactile stuff too, like fidget things and all kinds of stuff. And some of that's okay, but it doesn't really do nothing for me. But there's certain tones in her voice that
Yeah.
are at that level, and it's just really, really
That's
weird.
interesting. Yeah, there are some voices that I listen to, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
you just kind of melt into it, you know?
Yep.
And for me, it's usually the deeper tones.
Yep.
So, it's like a deeper baritone kind of thing. And I'm just like, keep talking. I'll wake up eventually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I always thought that was like, why is this happening? Like, this is so
Yeah.
weird, and like I've tried to like tell people about it, and I think that it wasn't a thing until recent. I mean, maybe it was, but TikTok
Yeah.
kind of brought a lot of things out, and but you stumble across things a lot on TikTok as instead of actually having to know what you're looking for in that. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
What we were talking about before with the frequencies,
Mhm.
Lee put it in there. I didn't want to pick up my phone and look it up, but it's solfeggio frequencies. And I'm not even sure I'm saying that right, but yeah.
Solfeggio.
Solfeggio?
Solfeggio.
Solfeggio? I don't know.
Science.
But
Please says science.
science.
That's just it. Like,
Blinded me with science.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. There we go.
You're fun when you're sleeping.
Oh my God, no, we can never do a show like this again. Oh man, all right, yeah. I've been doing deep dives into weird things. Like I said, TikTok is a very bad place for me because I will find this stupid video of something and I'll be like, no, what are you talking about? And then I have to go research it. And I did an entire night of, I get to listen to podcasts and books and stuff at work, and that they don't know that I do, but I do. And
well, now you just announced it. Somebody now knows.
They don't watch this show. Trust me, they don't watch this show. And I found a girl talking about how they believe dolphins, you can't communicate with dolphins in the wild because of this law. It's the Marine Mammal Protection Act.
Okay.
And they said, well, why is this illegal? Why can't you talk to dolphins? And they said, well, it all stems from this research that was done that believes that dolphins are telepathic and can communicate and stuff, and communicate with humans about the aliens and stuff that are under the water. And I'm like, shut up. So then
deep dive.
I had to go on this whole deep dive about the research, and this was done by NASA. And this is really cool. NASA, the research was done by a guy named something C. Lilly, Michael C. Lilly. Anyway, he did this research on dolphin communication with each other. And NASA came in and started funding this to try and find out if we made contact with aliens, how we would learn to communicate with them if we could learn to communicate with the dolphins.
Okay.
So that was the basis of this. And then they said, well, they train dolphins to, the Navy and stuff owns dolphins for military exercises like sniffing out underwater mines and retrieving objects and stuff that have been dropped in the water. And it snowballed into this whole thing. So now I know way more about dolphins than I ever want to know. Yeah.
Dolphins are advanced creatures. They are way
Very
smarter
much.
than we are. Yeah.
Very much. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what they said. Their brain size is massive compared to their body. And they said if any animal out there could communicate telepathically and be intelligent in that way, that'd probably be dolphins. So it's best that we don't communicate with them.
Well, I don't typically go where there are dolphins because I don't like hot weather, but now I might have to.
There you go. I would ask you if you've ever channeled a dolphin, but you said you haven't channeled any animals. No dolphins.
No. But
Let's
now
see
I
what
have a
did.
new challenge.
Now I've brought this back to the channeling again. That's the good host that I am.
I saw that segue. That was good.
Wonder if a dolphin has ever channeled a person.
Probably.
Probably.
But they'd have to lower their vibration and their intelligence so much. I don't know. I don't know if they'd want to.
Stab the humans some more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, it was fascinating. I actually messaged one of the guys that I was listening to on the podcast to see if he'd come on my show and talk about dolphins. So
yeah,
see if that happens.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, look forward to that in the future.
That'd be fun. Let me know.
Fans of my show.
Yes.
What am I missing here with channeling? Where else haven't we gone with this? We've talked about protection, and well, let me ask you this: when you made this written contract with the universe, and you sign it, and say that you're doing this, who signed it on the other side?
I don't know. It went into my Akashic records.
Okay.
Yeah, it went into my Akashic record for this lifetime. I wrote it out for myself because that's how I gain clarity. So in writing it out for myself physically and agreeing to it by signing it, it went into my Akashic record. So
on that topic, if you guys, we are live. If you don't notice, we're just chilling here. But if you guys have any questions as well, anybody listening, throw them in the comments.
Talking.
Any legitimate questions that aren't dolphin
related.
Yeah. Shut up! I had a very good night listening to my dolphin programs.
I think that's awesome.
They're so Anyway, back on topic. The next time one of my guest no-shows, we're gonna go down deep dives of weird stuff, and I'm just gonna talk.
All right.
John Lilly. There you go. Took longer to find. Yeah, well, he's see my backstage producer here, Lee Warner, looked it up. John C. Lilly is the guy's name. His father was a massive, had a lot of money and funded him, and he did a lot of things with the dolphins. They tried psychedelics on them to see what would happen to them. They've done all kinds of stuff, and it's very interesting. There's a lot more to that story that, we'll see if I can get my dolphin guy to come on and talk about. So
that would be awesome.
Akashic records, right? Okay, so channeling. When you do channeling, or have you ever tried channeling and doing like automatic writing?
Yes. In fact, both of my books are written that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have heard that one of my other guests, his whole book was channel written as well.
Yeah, both of my books were completely written out by hand and then transcribed. That book, yeah.
And
that book and that book.
There we go. Well, let's talk about these because we're coming up on the end of the show here anyway. So for anybody that's interested in more information, I guess we'll start off with, this was your first one.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about what that was and the journey into that.
Okay, so Intuitive You is the psychic development program that I have, and it was written week by week. It initially started out being 6 weeks. So it was 5 weeks in class and then a field trip to do a paranormal investigation. So every week I just sat down at my job because I had nothing better to do at that job, and just hand wrote. I just asked the universe, okay, what do my students need to learn tonight? Boom, 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 write it out. And it over the years developed. Jeez, I'm sorry. Lee distracted me.
She does that. I try to ignore it until I have time.
Yeah.
She would like to know when your third book is coming out.
Well, the second book isn't out yet. So second book is almost written, though. It's almost completed. There's still a lot of editing and stuff to do, not boring publishing stuff. So, but this was written as a class because someone had contacted me and asked me to teach her how to communicate with someone on the other side, as her son had recently passed away. And this was in 2007. And then she asked if she could bring a friend. I said, absolutely. Do you mind if I advertise it? So I put it out on meetup.com. 16 people showed up in my living room that night. So it's a thing. People want to know how to do this. And again, that was in 2007 when I started. This didn't actually get published until 2019 because I kept refining it and refining it and refining it. So as I was being refined, I'm glad that I took the time, and I'm glad that I had a conscientious publisher, because she really was like, okay, this needs to be explained more and that sort of thing. But that is the textbook for level 1 of Intuitive View. There are 3 levels.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, if somebody purchased this would give them basically training into how to unlock and use their abilities.
Yes. It's a step-by-step guide. And I tell people all the time, I'm the Virgo from hell. I have like 6 Virgos in my astrological chart. So everything in this book is short, to the point, and bullet pointed for the most part. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Easy to follow. There's notebook pages in it where you can take notes and
Interesting. So then online it said this was a second version of that?
no, this is a second version of a different book
Other
that
one.
was
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, that was not well edited.
Okay.
So I try not to bring that book up because it's a
Very
mess.
well. So this is
So-
your other book that you wrote. Yeah.
This is my other book that I wrote, but it is the second version of a different book that I wrote. And what this is 150 separate, like 1 or 2 paragraph meditation type things. So you just go in and it's actually set up so you can just open it to any random page and get the message that spirit wants you to have that day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So basically like, I'm having a problem, I need help. You just flip it open to a random page, draw a card, and that's your message for the
Yeah,
day.
there's no card, you just read it. But
Yeah.
It's like drawing a card though.
Yeah.
It's like drawing a tarot card or something. But yeah, it's just, you just focus on what is it you feel that you need, and then you just open the book and it just opens to the page you need with the message that you need.
Very cool. And these are all again channeled messages.
All of it. Yeah. The class is channeled, the book for the class is channeled, and this book is channeled. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking before the show today because I was not aware that you were an author. And the last time you were on, you said, "Oh, I have a ton of books." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know you had books. I've never seen them at your booth. You don't sell your books at conventions." Kristina.
Yes, I know. I need to order books. And I have this wonderful problem though, because I order books and they sell out right away.
Oh no.
I know.
Well, that's
right?
terrible. Why even bring them then?
And it takes like 3 weeks to get a new shipment.
Yeah.
Which
see,
book,
there you go.
Marion, which book do you want?
That one. She wants
That
that
one.
book.
She wants that book.
That
Well, you
book.
can get both books off my website. So if you go to kristinabloom.com and scroll down on the main page and hit the purchase button, you can get it right from where it's printed. If you hit the picture of the book, then it will take you to Amazon.
Now, it's really tricky because I've been on your website quite a bit. As I said, you are a sponsor of our convention.
Right.
And you are one of the trusted affiliates for Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. So thank you as well for that.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. We have a program that when we go out and do investigations and stuff and people need more help and training, we now have a list of people, very qualified, very scouted out people that do the training. And Kristina is one of those for us as well here. I've spent a lot of time on your website for those reasons of gathering information and, pulling stuff in that. And nope, those books are not on there.
They are. Just keep scrolling down on the main page.
I had to discover them through Amazon the hard way. And so the links to the website, Kristina's website, as well as a direct link for people like me on Amazon, you can get those both in the show notes of today's show, either on the podcast platform that you're listening to or on YouTube. They're right there.
Yeah.
Lisa's been to a class or two, so that's why I ask about book number 3.
Yeah, she's been to classes 1 and 2. So she has been to psychic and personal development and the next level. So, yeah.
Very interesting. So, Lee, for people that don't know, I'm pretty excited. Lee is going to be a guest on my show coming up here because she has some interesting stories, and we're not going to get into that yet, but definitely something that you're going to want to tune into. But Lee, are you a psychic now? Do you have mediumship abilities?
Yes, she does. I'll answer for her.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. The classes work. Buy the class.
No, but Lee already had ability. She just wasn't trusting herself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Lee needs to start doing gallery readings now. There you go. We'll have Terry and Danny start booking her as
Yeah.
a gallery show.
There you go.
I just realized I also have Wisdom for the Ages of Ascension. That's your other book.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Reginald's going to be on our recording with Rez and I tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that. So we're coming up on the end of the show here. If you guys have any more questions, throw them in the comments. We'll get to them before we end. Anybody else that's tuning in other than Lee, because Lee's held the chat here for a while.
Yeah,
but anybody else have any questions for Lee? Why is that popped up? I didn't even click on that. Lee just puts her own comments up now.
She does now.
I didn't even click on it. It popped up onto the screen. Lee, I tell you. All right.
She's awesome.
What was I saying? Oh, if you have any other questions, throw them in the comment section. We'll get them in before we wrap things up here. But you have a lot of other. You're probably as busy as me. I don't know how you find time to sleep either. But
yeah, I don't either.
Tell us about your other podcast shows, and you're teamed up with one of our other investigators from CAPS as well, Rez. Yeah. To do one of them. So where else can people find you and listen to you, and what are your shows about?
Okay, well, let's see. I have 3 YouTube channels. One of them is Paramystic Kristina, as it's showing on the screen. That is a show it's my show. Like, I don't have a regular co-host. I have a part-time co-host, Glenn Bottas. I co-host on his show sometimes as well. So he has From Beyond, and I have Paramystic Kristina, and we work together on that. It's a show it's a combination of the paranormal and the mystical. So that's where the paramystic came from. And then we have Red Road Paranormal that I do with Bobby Resnick Calkins. And we mostly focus on things that are Native American related, but also paranormal related. So, the combination of those two things. And Bobby sets us up, Rez sets us up with some really interesting guests sometimes. And then the third one is Breakfast with Bobby, which is a different Bobby. That is
talking with Bobbies.
I am just surrounded by Bobbies. But yeah, that's a different Bobby. That's Bobby Klebano. And she and I have been friends for years, go out for breakfast, occasionally. And we kept realizing that we would start talking and everyone around us would get quiet and start listening. And it took me a year, but I talked her into doing a podcast with me. So now we have that. And sometimes we have guests and sometimes it's the two of us. And there is no particular topic at all. We hit the paranormal, we hit medical, we hit just, whatever, personal growth, whatever. And again, sometimes we have guests and sometimes it's the two of us. So those are my other YouTube channels. So, yeah.
And Red Road is linked on all the CAP stuff as well. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch and listen to all of their podcasts there and off the website as well. So I always wanted to know if my dad, this is not me talking, Marion, right? There we go.
Yeah.
I always wanted to know if my dad is the one leaving me dimes all the time. I started finding them when he died.
I got an immediate yes when I asked that question. So yeah, the word yes just popped into my head.
Lee also agrees. She said, Of course he is. Trust. And Led to the Light Production says that he is going to now compete with Lee for most comments. Well, that's good because Lee is on both of my shows weekly, as well as even followed me to another show, Squatch America, I was on last night, and Lee held up the comments section over there as well. So you have some pretty big boots to fill if you're going to compete with Lee.
Uh-huh. And right behind Lee is Courtney.
Yeah, she's quiet. She was just here up in the top here, but she's been on my show quite a bit as well. So yeah, there you go.
Yep, there she was. Yep. There she was. Yeah.
Very cool. Marion says thank you as well. So
you're welcome, Marion.
Awesome. And like I said, anything that you're interested in with Kristina, we have links in the show notes to Red Road Paranormal podcast, I believe. Yep, Red Road Paranormal. And Kristina Bloom, and then as well as your books on Amazon for anybody that needs quick links to that. And I think everything else that you can think of is going to be linked off your website. So
awesome. Awesome. I have a link tree for that because I got tired of having to put in all those links. And, with 3 different shows and a website and all the different things that I do,
Mhm.
I went and got myself a link tree. It's just easier.
Yeah, I made Facebook pages for this show and my other show and stuff, and I only have like 6 followers apiece on them, but it helps because it still puts you in all those other places so people can
Right.
find it and just puts you out there more. So
It does.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah. It is a lot of work. I know.
I
Yeah.
thought it was funny. There was a person on one of these group chat things on Facebook or whatever, and they said, I'm thinking of starting a paranormal YouTube channel, or not a YouTube channel, a podcast. And they're like, do you have any advice? And myself was one of these comments, as well as a ton of others literally said, don't bother. There's so many podcasts out there that
Yeah.
it's just the only reason that I still do this is the only reason I still do this is because I get to pull people that I want to talk to, and it gives me an excuse to be like, oh, I have a question for you that you're not going to answer if I message you. So you just come on my show?
Are you reading my mind? I'm just asking.
See, yeah, none of these people that host these shows, we don't give a crap if anybody listens to it. Yeah, it doesn't matter if anybody
That's right.
listens to it, because we're doing it because this is just our weekly chat session with people and gives us an excuse to say that we're important and talk to other people about the
That's
questions
right.
we want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is fun too. I enjoy doing it. It's fun.
Mhm.
I used to be really camera shy. I know when I first started with WLTK, I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, I'm so shy. I'm over it. I'm over the shy. I have fun doing this. I have fun, interacting with the chat room and talking to guests and talking to hosts when I'm on someone else's show. And it's just, it's fun. And so as long as it's fun, I'm going to do it because that's my philosophy.
Absolutely. I am going to run an errand and eat, and then I'm going to sleep the rest of the day because that's what I need to do. But it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. It's
Thank
been a
you.
lot of fun, and I always enjoy hanging out with you and spending time with you at the conventions and stuff as well. So looking
Yeah,
forward to
likewise.
more of that, and seeing you again in May, if not sooner. You're going to be out in April at
Nope,
the
I'm scheduled somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I will see you probably next in May.
Okay.
Well, I will
Sounds
see
good.
you
No, you'll see me in March.
March 3rd. It's
3rd.
the 50th episode
Yes.
of the Paranormal Spectrum. And it's really weird because, for those of you that are regular visitors to my show. There we go. That's a new one. Regular
Yeah.
visitors to my show. We have some cancellations and stuff. And it just so happened that due to drop off shows and add on shows and stuff like that, that the 100th episode of Paranormal Spectrum, or I'm sorry, 100th episode of Monsters on the Edge is the exact same week as the 50th episode of this show.
Paired. Okay.
So
So you have 2
150
anniversary
are on
shows
the
in a week. In
same
the same.
week. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yep. Very cool. So my 100th episode is pre-recorded, unfortunately, but it's a really good episode. It's a 2-part episode, and it's a 3-hour-long interview that will be released on the Untold Radio Super Chats members page as well. So you'll get to
Cool.
see the whole interview with this guy, and it's pretty interesting. So
Awesome.
that's all I'll say for now. We'll
Okay.
talk more about that later. But
Yeah, just keep dropping those seeds.
that's right. That's right. So, but I will let you go because I'm sure you have things to do as well. But thank you again so much for coming on.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure for me too. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys, that is our show for this week. Again, if you want more Kristina Bloom, because I know you do, head on over and check out all of her podcasts. She does 3 of them and so much stuff, and just always busy as well as I, and so many conventions and things all over the country, from New York to Canada and all over the place. So always fun. But otherwise, come back March 3rd. We are going to be live here on the Untold Radio Network for the 50th episode. Kristina Bloom, Angela Zabel, Stephanie Lynn, and Ellie Weisensell of the Caps team. That will be their debuts on my show as well. All 4 of these amazing people are going to be on my show to answer all of your burning psychic and mediumship questions. We're going to hit all the hard-hitting questions that people kind of seem to always ask, and we're going to go into some weirder places as well with some of these, and we're going to ask them of the panel and then give each one a chance to answer those questions. So it's going to be an amazing episode. Definitely looking forward to it, and see what we can get out of this, because there you go. Awesome. So guys, thank you all so much for listening and tuning in today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share all things here on the Untold Radio Network, Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, and check out Kristina Bloom's pages as well. Until next week, guys, remember, we're all part of the Paranormal Spectrum. Take care, be well, and I'll see you next week.